Iraq, 2006. We were running security patrols through Al-Karma, a small city just east of Fallujah, where the streets felt too quiet and the buildings leaned in on you like they knew your name. The first time I saw him, he was standing in the doorway of a building with a bright blue door, the only splash of color in a street of crumbling tan walls. Tall, thin, maybe mid-30s, no weapon, no visible threat, just watching us. Our convoy rolled past, slow, engines growling. My eyes locked with his for less than a second, but it was enough. There was something in his gaze that stuck in my head the whole day. Calm. Measuring. Like he knew something I didn't. "Who's that?" I asked Corporal Hayes in the Humvee behind me. "Local. Don't know his name. Shows up sometimes. Always at that door." The next day, same patrol, same street, he was there again. This time, he nodded at me. Just once. By the third time, I was looking for him before we even turned the corner. And then one morning, he wasn't there. Instead, a boy couldn't have been older than 12 stood in the doorway, holding a piece of cardboard, painted on it, in rough English letters, asterisk asterisk blue door, no go, asterisk asterisk. We stopped the convoy. 5 minutes later, we found the IED buried under a trash pile at the corner. Without that warning, it would have taken out the lead Humvee. No question. When we came back through later that day, the doorway was empty again. Weeks passed before I saw him again. It was during a night patrol, the kind where the darkness feels heavier than your own body armor. Moonlight cut pale lines through the alleyways, and there he was, the man in the blue doorway. This time, he stepped forward. In his hand, a piece of chalk. He knelt and began drawing something on the dusty street. A crude map, a cluster of buildings, a road, and an X. Then he tapped the X twice, pointed down the street, and slipped back inside without a word. We followed the map the next morning. The spot marked with an X was a small abandoned shop. Inside, we found not one, but 3 vests packed with explosives, ready to be moved. It didn't make sense. Why help us? Why risk his life to stop an attack on Americans? That night, back at base, Hayes had a theory. Maybe he's working both sides, keeps the Americans alive just long enough to use them later. I wanted to believe that wasn't true. I wanted to believe he was one of the rare good ones, someone who just wanted the killing to stop. Then came the day that proved me wrong. We were ambushed 2 blocks from the blue doorway. Small arms fire, RPGs, the whole street lit up with chaos. We pushed forward, clearing house by house. When we kicked in the door to one of the buildings, there he was. The man from the blue doorway, standing next to a table covered with wires, detonators, and a half-assembled vest. He didn't reach for a weapon, didn't run, just looked at me calm, like always, and said something in Arabic I didn't understand. We cuffed him, dragged him out, and took him back to the FOB. 2 days later, he was gone. Not released gone, not prisoner transfer gone, just gone. A month later, I was on my final patrol before heading home. We rolled down the same street. The blue doorway was still there, paint now faded and chipped. But this time, no man, no boy, just an empty shadow. Until I saw it. On the ground, at the base of the door, was a single sheet of paper weighed down with a stone. On it, in shaky English, asterisk asterisk, "They know your road." Asterisk. Asterisk. We rerouted the convoy immediately. 3 hours later, EOD confirmed what I already knew in my gut. There was an IED string waiting for us on our planned path, big enough to turn all 3 Humvees into twisted metal. That was the last I ever heard from him. Years later, back home in Kansas, I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a photograph. A man standing in a dusty street in Iraq. Behind him, the blue doorway. And in his arms, a little boy holding a cardboard sign. written in black paint, clear as day. Asterisk, asterisk, no go. Asterisk, asterisk. I stared at it for a long time before sliding it into a desk drawer. Some nights, I take it out and wonder, was he trying to save me, or just saving me for something else?